The Swedish military choosing the music for the Strides Fordon 9040 demonstration video. Honestly, I don't even care what this military vehicle does. I'll buy 50. And that song better be playing inside of this vehicle for 24/7 when your rival's plane comes down after a random missile suddenly collides with it in the air. I guess he shouldn't have put his plane in front of my missile. Would do such a thing. Literally that same guy on a random Wednesday in August. This poor fly got on a plane in Houston and will get off in London. His whole life is about to change, bruh. Like how it doesn't say for better or for worse, but we all know it'll be worse. Thomas Austin releasing 24 rabbits into the wild for sport hunting. Meanwhile, those rabbits 70 years later. And this happened in the big, beautiful desert continent of Australia. Those rabbits must be pretty tough. In the 1800s, this was the guy to do it, and there's thought to be 200 million of them today. The rabbits inhabit 70% of Australia's landmass. Safe to say, some mistakes were made. This is actually probably why Australia is so strict about what you bring to their country. China, looking at the nation they want to strengthen their relationship with. Here. Panda. It doesn't matter if you have a suitable environment for these little guys, just take it. Can we be friends now? This is known as panda diplomacy. They used to be given, now they're just leased to other countries. A 300-pound ancient Greek rock carved with Babon, son of Fola, could lift this over his head. Literally the first example of your winning, son. Dude, I can't even imagine how proud of my son I'd be if he could lift this thing. Love how simple dads are. Like, oh, you can lift this rock? I'm so proud of you. Me trying to remember where Dutch people are from without saying Dutchland. Pretty confident I've done this several times. There's not a Dutchland, but there is a Deutschland. Close enough. Germaphobes after they find out about Germany. A place filled with Germans. Very scary. Luckily, I'm a hamburger file. Wait, is that even a thing? Well, apparently there's a hamburger phobia, but not a hamburger file? A love for hamburgers? Why would this not be a thing? Anyways, me, a hamburger file, walking into Hamburg, Germany. Some people have a calling to fulfill a societal role that doesn't exist. Heartbreaking. Meanwhile, all this guy's tweets. I would thrive as a castle guard, leaning on my spear, leering at wenches. Move along, hail, citizen, halt, go on. When the Lord says, seize him, and I get to grab hold of him, it must be the best feeling in the world. This guy just tried to get into the throne room, and me and the other guard just crossed our pole arms to block his entry. Classic. Sometimes life just isn't fair. Born to do a job that went extinct centuries ago. I mean, yeah, you could be a bouncer at a club, but is it really the same? This would literally be 1,000 times better. I feel like my calling was just to be the castle jester. The world's first wind-powered cargo ship with groundbreaking metal wings set sail. Man, oh man, look at this unheard of technology. Moving boats with just the power of the wind? Could you imagine if we somehow thought of this way longer ago? Heh, says this soldier. Aw, yeah, that's nice. What's funny is I don't know 100% which number these Roman numerals are referring to, but with this word, I think I can guess. Years back in 80 BC, I can hear enemy footsteps almost a mile away. There's around 78 men and 25 horses. Meanwhile, ears today. I think the problem is if we don't use our ears to be hearing 78 men and 25 horses, this is just what they revert to doing. They really have no other uses, to be honest. Went down a Wikipedia rabbit hole last night and stumbled upon this. Holy frick is all I can say. Did you guys know this existed? I've been reading about it all day. Yo, this is nuts. Wait a second. World War II? That means there's another USA lore versus USA gameplay. Yeah, it's one of those things, when the developers were talking about it, it sounded like it was going to be the greatest thing ever. But to my surprise, it is actually incredibly boring. Be today, be Australian, woke up sick, call work to let them know I can't come in. Yeah, no worries, mate. Contact local GP. Appointment free and same day because subsidized social health care. Paid sick leave because strong labor movement that guarantees working rights. Now nobody at work will catch my cold. Or food for customers not contaminated by my cold. Company doesn't lose money because my sick leave is government subsidized. All bills continue to be paid on time. My day is stress-free because I have time to relax and recover. Today is yet another day. I'm glad I'm not an American. Wow, okay, well, way to rub it in. This is really our only comeback for that sort of thing. Yeah, living upside down must be rough. BRICS members, yeah, we'll frick NATO up if given the chance. Meanwhile, Brazil and India knowing they'll fight for NATO if the crap hits the fan. Yeah, probably best to just not talk about this. Just go along with whatever they're saying. I mean, at the very least, Brazil and India would probably just do nothing. They'll probably just chill, stay out of it. The toll probably not a CIA agent in Belarus right now trying to hype up the remaining Wagner contractors to thunder run towards Moscow again. Yeah, they're definitely delivering the most epic speech ever. They're quite the motivational speakers, that's for sure. Putin on red alert as hundreds of Wagner troops in Belarus suddenly vanish. US tells Americans to leave Belarus immediately. Yeah, this is starting to get a little bit scary. Belarus is maybe not the place you want to be in this moment. Breakthrough Russian defenses with mechanized infantry, drones, and cluster boom booms. That's an okay brain move, but not quite as galaxy brain as just go around it. Is it amphibious invasion time? Why wasn't I told? Man, oh man, this is probably so crazy right now. Japanese songs sing about depression. Me and the boys who don't understand okay, I don't understand Japanese, but I think I know what this is saying in Japanese. I guess the Japanese are dancing to our dark songs too. People, when you mock a culture based on mannerisms, way of speaking, and stereotypes. Meanwhile, people, when you mock British mannerisms, ways of speaking, and stereotypes. What's funny is I've known this for a long time. It's not just the British though, that's for sure. It's also the Italians, it's the French, it's the Australians. They're clearly just in a different tier. Italy, according to Americans, versus Italy, according to the world. This is pretty much the closest thing to Italy that we got. I mean, it's like somewhat close, right? Kinda. But I guess the Mushroom Kingdom is pretty much Italy according to Japan, though. We wouldn't be able to build the pyramids today. Oh yeah? How about this? Or this? How about this great construction? How about this massive yacht? How about insane dams? And finally, most important of all, how about our actual pyramid we did build in Las Vegas? And believe it or not, the greatest pyramid humans have ever built was built relatively recently. There's pretty much no reason to build these structures anymore. We already created the best there's ever gonna be. Can I live in Arizona? Asks this cactus. Will you adapt to the extreme heat? Yeah! Cacti can't survive Arizona's record-breaking heat. Heat wave takes toll on Arizona's desert ecology. It's literally so hot, the cacti can't even take it. I feel like you guys kind of set yourself up for this. It's like a fish not being able to swim. Yeah, no, seriously though, it is pretty hot in Arizona right now. Excessive heat warning. You could say that again. Show us the coolest picture you've taken of your BMW. Oh man, now that is quite an interesting picture of this person's BMW. Clearly pretty old relic. I'm gonna say somewhere around the 1930s or 40s in Germany. The tweet went wrong so fast. Samurai hairstyle in animes. Meanwhile, real samurais back then. I mean, you can even see it in the Japanese artwork from the time as well. They did all look like this. Who cares? All the more reason to wear your cool helmet instead. The word Ohio looks like a tractor. I don't even know what to say to this, but it really does. Okay. Well, I mean, only in Ohio. This is where I post from. Meanwhile, me chilling at Delusion Lake. How else can I get so delulu? I bathe in these waters every day. Meanwhile, in the English language, we have island versus isn't land. It had to have started like this. It's almost like Canada's Newfoundland. I pronounce it Newfoundland, but maybe it was a little bit different back in the day. The average, I gotta learn grammar enjoyer. Meanwhile, the average, this sounds correct, enthusiast. I realize this happens in pretty much every language around the world, at least if it's your native language. You just heard so much that, like, it's automatic. You'd be surprised how many English speakers I know that don't know what an adverb is. The terms are confusing. Non-native English speakers going around the internet and correcting the grammar of native English speakers. And what's funny is these people probably taught me more about English than I had ever known before. I'm still surprised at how often my English was not technically perfect in my beginning videos. It was mostly perfect, but there was always like a word or two I'd kind of say a little weird. Putin, in 9 years, watching Prigozhin re-emerge with an eye patch and a robotic arm. It's gonna be straight up like an anime villain returning from the dead. Can't wait for that season to drop. Soviets, taking Finland will be easy. They are small and weak. Meanwhile, some Finnish farmer, yeah, this guy was pretty much unstoppable. We still talk about him, obviously, to this day. I just learned recently he didn't even use a scope either. He would occasionally take it off because he was afraid the sun would reflect on it, revealing his position. Rare image of Vladimir Putin absorbing the life force of a small child. Oh, is that how he keeps going? That would make sense. Big thanks to my patrons. Destiny 9000. Drew needs to pay his taxes. Why am I doing this? JohnDenver, I'm the kidnapper.
Jack
Traven's annoying friends.
InquisitorXarius,
Carmel Saida, Australia is real. I am not a paid actor.
LuxembourgLover,
Patrick
RyeThePie,
subscribe to
TheGreatRalphy,
Twickenhamster. Become a patron by checking the description down below.